In this lesson, I'll show you how to animate objects and parameters inside EmberGen. First of all, let's go to the simulation and I want to resize the container. I like to set the X to 300 and the Z maybe 200, and we have about 10 millions. Okay, apply new resolution. And now I'm gonna go to the shape. As you see, I don't see the shape in the viewport, and this is because I need to go to the emitter and I need to turn on the show emitter. This option should be in the shape primitive, I think, not in the emitter, but anyway. So now you can see, we can see the shape. If you still don't see that, you may need to go to the view and click on shapes. And you'll notice here in the timeline, I have the render and export particles and export VDB. So basically, they are showing by default when you create them in the node graph. So let's go ahead and delete them because we don't need them for now, just to make the timeline clean and nice. So now let's go ahead to the shape, and I like to set the radius to maybe 0.5 and move it somewhere there. So now in order to animate that, I need to come over here to the position because I want to animate the position. So I'm gonna click once on the position. If you click the second time, this will expose the position as an input here. I'm gonna talk about that later. So just click once and you should see the position in the timeline. So now if I want to set the first key, I need to hold shift and click on the X because I need to animate the X, right? Let's click once there. And now if I move, let's say, to frame 40, and because the auto key is activated, now if I move that, now the keys are created because the auto key is activated. And now if I hit the space, we have animated object. And here I have interesting button. So if you click on that, you can see I have play once, I have loop, and I have ping pong. So let's set that to ping pong and let's go back and see. And we have looping animation, as you see. It's cool, right? And if I want to edit the curve, let's go back. I can come over here and click on this curve editor, and you can see the curves here. I can turn them off. I need just to control the X, so I can right click on that. I can set that to smooth or linear or constant. And you can play with the curve too. As you see, we have infinite curve because we set that to ping pong. I can change that, for example, to loop. You can see how it's looping. You can see the curve. So let's go back to play once and let's move it like that. And after you finish, you can click on that. So now if I hit play, the animation is slowing down. And if you want to zoom in or zoom out in the timeline, you need to hold the control on the keyboard and use the mouse scroll to zoom in and zoom out. As you see, you need to move your cursor in this area. If you move it there, even if you hold the control button and use the scroll, as you see, it's not working because you need to hover the mouse in this area. And now let's go ahead and see how it works if the object moves fast. So let's move those keys somewhere there and hit space. As you see, we have gap there because the object is moving so fast. Now the problem is we can't fix this gap, but if we have the sphere, if I go and change that to sphere, you can see I have an option here. This is just for the sphere fill motion gaps. Let's set that to 0.5 for now, and you can see we have gaps because the object is moving so fast. And even if I click on that, this will not fix it completely. Sometimes it fixes it, as you see, but if I move it a little bit there and make it faster, let's go ahead and zoom in. I want to show you that even if you click on fill motion gaps, this will not fix it if it's so fast, so you need to be careful about that. So as you see, we're still having gaps, so you need to be reasonable about your object, how they move. If it's moving so fast, even this one will not fix it. And I can animate the radius too. Let's go ahead and click on the radius, and you can see the radius is here. And now I can set a key, shift, and click somewhere there, and I want to move to the next keys. Let's click on keys, and I want to set that maybe to 2, and we have another key here, and let's hit the space. We animated the radius 2, and you can animate almost everything, even the shape activity too. So let's see, I can come over here. Let's say I want to turn off the emitter, so I can click on that, and now at this point I want to hold shift there and another key there. I want to turn it off. Let's go to the second one. Here should be on, and when I go to the next key, it's off. So at the first is on. So now if I go ahead and play, so as you see, we are turning it off at this timeline. Let's move it a little bit there. And it turned off, as you see. And you can animate almost everything, even the noise. For example, the amplitude, if you want higher amplitude on the smoke at the first time, and then going down when the object moving to the end.